The purpose of this video is to provide the clinician a method of measuring and documenting scar mobility. Being able to measure the scar mobility consistently will give you reliable and reproducible objective data, proving progress to yourself, to your patient, and to the insurance company. So let's get started. So using this subject for our scar mobility measuring, we've drawn in a fake scar. What I like to do is I like to take a marker and I'll mark the superior aspect, middle way, and the inferior aspect of the scar. So those are going to be my landmarks. Now, depending on how long the scar is, you may just need one spot, you may need two spots, but that's up to the clinician determining which one they want. But for a typical total knee replacement, I'll use 3 points. I'm going to place the goniometer. So where the top red spot, I'm going to put it at the 5 centimeter mark, and that's going to be my mark. Then I'm just going to physically just pull the skin medially as far as it'll go, and I can measure where that point actually goes, measuring 1.5 centimeters. Then I pull it to laterally, and of course, she doesn't have any scars, so we're getting numbers that are more consistent with normal. So that measures, starting from the 5, that's 1.5 centimeters laterally. And now if I want to go superiorly, I'm going to move the goni. So now starting at the 5 centimeter, I'm going to pull it up. You see it goes all the way to 2. So that would give me 3 centimeters. And then pulling inferiorly, again, goes to 7, 7.5. So that gives me a good ballpark of how far the point moves: superior, medial, lateral, and inferior. So that gives me 4 directions on the map of how far this point can move those 4 directions. And I'll do the same thing at every spot along the scar that I feel is necessary. Once again, I'm going to put the spot on a designated point on my goniometer, and I'm going to move it laterally, medially, measuring the excursion, superior, pretty normal, and inferior. So that gives us those values at each of these locations. I recommend sometimes too, you can take, let's say they have a massive scar here and there's no scar here. If you want to see what their normal tissue is, I would just do some spots that would be somewhat parallel with it and measure those to give us a normal value. However, for our purposes, we're just showing you how to measure the scar. So that gives us the superior, inferior, medial, and lateral aspects of the scar excursion in each of those points. The final measurement is lifting. I'm going to pinch the tissue up. Okay. Now in a normal, you can see the scar lifts up pretty easy and I can pinch it. So I would give that a normal out of a scale of 1 out of 3. 3 is normal. Now, what we're going to see for a relatively new scar is you're not going to be able to pinch it at all. You're not going to actually be able to pinch it. So for that, I'll give it a 1 out of 3. A 2 out of 3 would be something more like where the skin pinches down. It's what I call puckers. So it does like that. I can pinch it a little bit, but the scar puckers down. So to me, that's going to be a 2 out of 3, if it puckers like that. So that's my easy way of measuring, giving it some objective value for the lifting aspect. So it's going to be a 1, unable to pick it up at all. 2 is a lift, but with a pucker. And 3 is normal. And that completes the measurement.